Hello, this is the video for Monday, February 22nd in 12th grade English, our snow delay day. We had a short class, so I condensed all of this and did it pretty fast. It is a day on confessions, so we're starting our unit on confessions, which is about 2 weeks long within the investigations unit. And I didn't do number one, really. We didn't get into writing a small confession. Instead, we just looked at a model and then we looked at a couple of scenes of big confessions with this overriding question of why do people confess in these scenes? What is bringing people to confession? In the world that we study today, it's very much legal context. So they're on a court stand and they're being interrogated. And then tomorrow we'll look at confessions coming from a different space, a space of guilt. The construction today is new for your STEM. Instead of because, but, so, we're moving into when, after, although. So when someone confesses, after someone confesses, although someone confesses. All right, so slides are linked here in the agenda, and I'll head on over to the slideshow. All right, so I'm asking this question to set us up for the idea of what makes us different as human beings. We can imagine living in the future or the past, which is wonderful. It contributes to our imagination, but it's also the reason that we are haunted sometimes by the future or the past. And that brings us to the idea of confessions. So why do we love confessions? Why are we so drawn to scenes where someone is confessing something? That's going to be a central question for the week. I started with this tiny confession, and I can show you this because it's not copyrighted. I can read the quick poem for you. It's called This Is Just to Say by William Carlos Williams. William Carlos Williams is a really famous poet. Here's a slide about him. He lived from 1883 to 1963. He was a doctor, so he spent all day in a hospital in New Jersey, and then he'd go home and write poetry. His first language was Spanish. His dad was British but raised in the DR, and his mom was Puerto Rican. But he writes his poetry in English. So let's go back over to the poem. He writes, I have eaten the plums that were in the icebox and which you were probably saving for breakfast. Forgive me. They were delicious, so sweet and so cold. This is a sweet poem, small, tiny little thing that I think I saw for the first time in elementary school. And the question I'll ask class is just, what is this about? Why is he writing a poem to talk about the plums he ate in the icebox? Seems very silly and small. And so what is about this poem that made it so likable for so many people? And my suspicion is that people have read and loved this poem because this is so very human. We do things like this all the time. We know that somebody needs us to do something else, but we don't. We lie just a little, not a lot, not a huge lie, just a little one. We eat the last cookie, even if we know it was for somebody else. What is this all about? I think we want to be good, but we collect these tiny little missteps. And I think that Williams is capturing that in this poem, this really short little poem. So confessions, like his poem, are really attractive to us. And we want to know what they are all about, and we want to be near them. We want to be near honesty, especially if we can't be ourselves honest, which is all of us. So we're looking at two scenes to illustrate this point. I can't play them because of copyright, but you should as you watch this video, especially the second one because we haven't looked at it yet. The first we looked at last week in the context of our other initiatives under investigations, but today we're looking at Legally Blonde again because of the scene where this woman confesses. And then the second movie here, it's about 6 minutes, so it's longer. We're asking the question, why does this guy confess? He has a huge lie he's been holding on to, and it's in his interest to do so. So why does he come clean? I think I want to let you try to grapple with that on your own rather than giving you an answer here in the slideshow, and then reveal to me your answer in your STEM. The STEM is when, after, and if people confess. So you can tell me there, why do people confess? When people confess, what happens? Although people confess, what is the result of that? You can tell me why you think in A Few Good Men, Colonel Jessup confesses. Here is my idea that I'll put out there that's more general. I think we're captivated by confessions because as humans, one of the more important differences between us and animals is that we have cognitive awareness which means mental as opposed to physical, awareness of the past. We can live in it, and that links us to our small lies and crimes. We can't live in the present always. We maybe want to, but we're always aware of things that have happened to us or things that we have done. An animal might be aware that this thing or that thing can hurt them physically and they'll avoid it. But an animal after a half hour forgets that it did something wrong in the eyes of a human. We can't forget like that. And so I think we're really captivated by scenes where people are revealing something about themselves because it respects that in us, which also wants to be clean and honest. So we're thinking about that concept today, and we're thinking about it tomorrow as well. Here is the stem, so you can get out your own ideas about all of this. It is a completely new construction, as I've said. This is a dependent clause. So these when, after, if statements are not real sentences. They're incomplete, or as we call them in grammar, they're fragments, they're pieces. They need something else to rest on to be complete, an independent clause. So as you write, you're going to naturally be tugged towards a complete thought that this can link up to. So when I say when someone confesses, you're naturally going to want to finish that thought. You need to have, grammatically, a comma after each of these phrases. When someone confesses, comma, sentence. If someone confesses, comma, sentence. After someone confesses, comma, sentence. That's really important as we move into this second construction that I'll be looking for this week. Okay, slides are linked to the agenda. Check this out so you can see the video of A Few Good Men.